Whoa. Well, that's a big matchup right there. Rollins laying down the challenge, and wait a second, we all know that voice. It's Bradshaw. Well, solid point right there by JBL. He is the Raw General Manager. Yet again, their solid point. This is live television. We need to announce things beforehand. Wait, a handicap match? Huh. Well, it's safe to say that JBL doesn't like Rollins trying to book his own show. And so, Seth Rollins next week in a handicap match. Your question, wait a second. Cameras, can we pan back here? Commotion in the ring, if anything. That's akam and rezar. Those are the authors of pain. Assaulting Rollins, blindsided him. Well, JBL, we saw him make the announcement on the Titantron, and it seems like I know who Rollins' two opponents next week are gonna be. Yo, after trying to book his own rematch here tonight. And now look at this, what a power bomb. The referee feels that one, and now the ref trying to check on Rollins here, but the authors of pain just not giving just an opening for the ref to check on Rollins, and now to the outside he goes. And look at that, the intensity in the eyes of Akam. The authors of pain have laid Seth Rollins to waste here tonight on Monday Night Raw, and Rollins trying to will himself back to his feet. He can't. His body has seemingly shut down. Well, Rollins, in the words of JBL, he spit off more than he can chew. Rollins wanted competition, he got competition. And so, here's the graphic. Next week, your main event, it's a handicap matchup. Seth Rollins faces off against both members of the Authors of Pain, and Akam and Rezar. Rollins, he is in seemingly hot water, hot boiling water, with General Manager John Bradshaw Layfield. Live from Charlotte, North Carolina, this right here is Raw Week 10. We are now officially 3 weeks away from the King of the Ring pay-per-view. And as you saw right there at the top of the show, the recap of what transpired last week, ladies and gentlemen, tonight could very well be the Judgment Day of former Universal Champion Seth Rollins. But along with that, two major title matches. Not only that, but also rematches from the One Night Stand Extreme Rules pay-per-view 8 nights ago. Lacey Evans came up short in the One Night Stand Extreme Rules kickoff show against Raw Women's Champion Naomi. Tonight, Evans, she gets her rematch clause, her final opportunity at the Gold. Can she dethrone the currently 6-0 undefeated Naomi for the title? We shall see. Along with that, new tag team champions Ricochet and Braun Strowman, they defend against former tag team champions Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Anderson and Gallows, they lost those titles 8 days ago. Tonight, they get their rematch clause, their final opportunity at those Raw tag team titles. 2 top matches, 2 big-time rematches to go along with it. And as you saw right there, the recap a couple moments ago, Seth Rollins in hot water with General Manager John Bradshaw Layfield trying to get a rematch against Mark Henry for Universal title and trying to get it immediately on Raw. Last week, JBL didn't like Rollins trying to book his own show, and so tonight is, well, Seth's punishment of sorts as he faced off against the Authors of Pain in a handicap matchup. And along with that, the King of the Ring tournament, it continues. The Miz defeated Sami Zayn to open up the night last week, and here tonight, Ethan Carter III takes on Cesaro. The winner will advance to the semifinals to face off against The Miz in 3 weeks' time at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go, the opening contest, the quarterfinals of the King of the Ring tournament. It continues here tonight on Raw Week 10.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring weighing in at 231 pounds, EC3.
Ethan Carter III, he hasn't really had the best of starts here in Euros mode, currently 0-3. If anything, EC3, he had a little cool statistical accomplishment. If anything, it's definitely historic. It's not a good type of historic, but it's historic nonetheless. EC3 has the first ever loss in Euros mode history. That's right. Back in Raw Week 1, first ever match in Euros mode history, EC3 faced off against the phenomenal United States champion in AJ Styles in a non-title contest. EC3 will go on to lose that contest. AJ Styles' first ever victory in Euros mode history. EC3 first ever loss in Euros mode history. And what will follow suit? A couple weeks later in Raw Week 4, he lost in the 8-man Battle Royal to see who will face off against AJ for a title at Money in the Bank. That matchup was won by Samoa Joe. And well, then a couple weeks later on Heat, EC3 will go on to lose to the Samoan submission machine in Samoa Joe as well. So EC3 currently 0-3. Both Joe and AJ respectively have had this number before in the past. Tonight, though, he faces off against Cesaro. And while Cesaro, he's had a complete 180. Originally started off as 0-2. 5 straight victories under Cesaro's belt ever since then. This man is truly on the road. The Swiss Superman here looking for victory number 6. As it could be, if anything, at the expense of EC3.
From Lucerne, Switzerland, weighing in at 232 pounds, Cesaro.
It was last week on Raw, where after The Miz picked up victory over Sami Zayn, we saw Cesaro walk down to the ring and confront Miz. It was a little bit of a teaser of a potential matchup between Cesaro and The Miz. Of course, it could happen if Cesaro beats EC3 here tonight. But if anything, Miz being Sami Zayn, Cesaro's matchup was up next, so he decided to walk down to the ring early, confront Miz, and well, if anything, Cesaro was really taunting Miz, telling him, hey, fight me. How about you have a second match on the night and you face off against me? And I could also have 2 matches on the night. A little bit of a warm-up before I face off against Kurt Hawkins. And well, Miz, to be fair, he gestured away. He really just walked away from the ring. And well, Cesaro mocked Miz on his way up to the ramp. Miz did not want to fight 2 matches in one night. Cesaro, he was all for it, if anything. And so then that right there is what led, ultimately, to Cesaro versus Kurt Hawkins. Cesaro would get a victory over Kurt Hawkins. And so, Cesaro, he was looking for 2 matches in one night. He almost actually got it last week, and now EC3 here. European upcut force troubles. This matchup now begins, obviously. And so the winner faces off against Miz in 3 weeks' time at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. And well, along with that, next week on Raw, Bray Wyatt takes on the real deal, Titus O'Neil. And along with that, in 2 weeks' time, Breezango, I was going to say they implode. They don't really implode, but they face off against Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Definitely interesting to say the least. And no, exploder suplex right there by Ethan Carter III. And well, EC3 looking to completely change his career here in Euros mode. It is still in the early stages. This is still only granted, still only week 10. But there's people like EC3 who hasn't really made any changes. Of course, this could be a big start of that. And then there's people like Cesaro, who in a short timestamp has made some major changes. It was back in Raw Week 4, a very unlikely pairing of Cesaro and, ironically enough, The Miz, who lost to Ricochet and Braun Strowman in the Money in the Bank men's preview tag matchup. It was the Raw side of things, preview for the Raw men's side. And oh, what a clothesline right there by EC3 to decapitate Cesaro. Reminiscent, of course, Gem manager John Bradshaw layfield, only a 2 count, however. But EC3, perhaps making JBL proud of that one, you gotta think. And now here we go, electric chair, drop down goes Cesaro. Well, Van Cesaro, across the last couple of weeks, he's had victories over the likes of, well, Kurt Hawkins, Cedric Alexander, Bray Wyatt, Rey Mysterio. Cesaro, he's turned his career around here in Euros mode. EC3 misses the double axe handle. Cesaro sidestep and half and half suplex. Down goes EC3 on the canvas. And now Cesaro here. Snap suplex going to cover, rough cover the forearm across the face to add a little bit more weight. And it's only going to be a 2 count. Of course, when you add that forearm across the face, you add a little bit more weight, make it more difficult for your opposition to kick out. One reversal. Gorilla press attempt, and it's ultimately reversed by EC3 into a DDT. That worked out very smoothly for Ethan Carter III, and Cesaro knocked a little bit loopy, landed right on top of his head, and up to the outside we go. Opening contest here on Raw Week 10, second matchup on the Raw side of the King of the Ring tournament. And now into the barricade goes Cesaro. EC3 looking to use the environment to his advantage, laying down the law with those punches. And Cesaro crumbling down onto the canvas. EC3 is in control as the action continues here now on Raw Week 10. And so we're back here with the live action during the commercial break. EC3 went for another double X handle, and second time in a row, it was reversed. It's been back and forth during the commercial break. Completely 50-50 split. One enziguri right there by EC3. Cesaro feeling the effects down. Of course, before we went to break, it was EC3 in control during the commercial break. However, it's been a 50-50 split between the two. Winner obviously goes on to advance to the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. Obviously, the King of the Ring tournament, the winner, whether it be for Raw or SmackDown, will go on to main event SummerSlam for their brand, whether it be for the Universal title or the WWE title. Big time implications. None of that King gimmick. There's gonna be no actual King gimmick. You will not get a crown. You will not get the little scepter or whatever. You will not get the big furry coat or anything. There is not King gimmick. You get the name and you get the title opportunity, and that's all it is. To a rope break here for Cesaro, and barely gets the shoulder up. Referee didn't see the rope break right in front of his face. Cesaro had to kick out in the last second, barely getting the shoulder up just in time. Cesaro, in a way, almost got screwed right there due to poor officiating. And now, wait a second, to the corner. Clothesline right there by EC3, snapmare, and another snapmare. The two different snapmare variations, courtesy of EC3. And Cesaro here, he's in a bad way. And now, here we go, and oh! That STO variation, an inverted STO of sorts. And now EC3 took a while going to the cover. He contemplated it for a bit. Can that cost him? Yes, it will. Only a 2 count. Maybe, just maybe, that will be a 3 if EC3. Well, he shot the half sooner. And now Cesaro back up on his feet, courtesy of EC3. German suplex. Cesaro folding upon the impact. And oh, punch across the face, yeah, again, and a second German suplex. EC3 here, looking to finally get a victory here in Europe, his first victory here in Europe. And Cesaro in a tough spot, never mind, gets out of the way of the elbow drop. Some way, somehow, he sensed it, and now across the ropes is EC3, and Cesaro off the second rope, springboard uppercut. European uppercut taking down EC3. And now Ethan Carter here. He's dazed. He's loopy after that first one. And Cesaro, he's not done. Time for a second. Center the ring. Cesaro, he's still not done. You 2 actually could be it. I think EC3 is completely knocked out. Dazed completely. But Cesaro looking for a trifecta of springboard European uppercuts. Ain't no party like an uppercut party, because an uppercut party don't stop. That's very difficult to say. But if anything, now Cesaro rearranging EC3 here on the canvas. And Cesaro, here we go! One elbow drop. 3 springboard European uppercuts. And then we'll follow suit as the elbow drop for the victory here to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. Cesaro, no! EC3 barely getting the shoulder up. Cesaro, he thought he almost had it. I thought he had it for a second as well. EC3 looked for a strike right there. It's going to be reversed. And Cesaro looked for one. EC3 has it scouted. Back elbow. That one connects. Cesaro not loopy. After that one knocks him on the chin. I mean, on the chin, right down the cheekbone. Northern Light suplex. Momentary bridge. Cesaro's going to let go, however. And you gotta wonder why. Could have led to a victory. And now, wait a second. No, well, never mind. I know why. Cesaro looking to end it once and for all. The neutralizer planted. EC3 down into the canvas. Center of the ring. No rope breaks in sight. 18 card and third is done for, and Cesaro will advance to the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament on the Raw side of things. And in 3 weeks' time, to see who will advance further in the tournament, Cesaro will have to face off against The Miz. Well, we had a little bit of a teaser of sorts last week when Cesaro wanted to pick a fight with The Miz after The Miz's victory over Sami Zayn. And well, that matchup will come into fruition. 3 weeks' time, King of the Ring, Miz and Cesaro, mark your calendars. And the winner of that matchup will ultimately face off against either Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Bray Wyatt, or Tice O'Neil. Definitely an interesting matchup either way. A lot of interesting matchups on the Raw side, courtesy of JBL. The SmackDown side, I have to say, is a little bit more safe. The Raw side here by JBL, it's been made a little more unorthodox. You wouldn't expect some people to be in the tournament. But it's definitely interesting. Cesaro, just more victories. Another victory in a row. This man has just had a lot of victories in a row. Complete 180 here in the career of Cesaro across the last couple weeks has been truly spectacular to witness. But there you see, right there, Buddy Murphy being Kane last week. And well, tomorrow night, Tuesday on SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura, Mustafa Ali, winner will face off against Mr. Money in the Bank and Buddy Murphy. But there you see Miz and Cesaro apart for the semifinals. And if anything, when we return from break, Lacey Evans, she gets her one-on-one rematch clause against the current undefeated Raw Women's Champion Naomi Evans. Came up short 8 nights ago. Tonight she gets one last final opportunity at the undefeated Raw Women's Champion. Can she be able to prevail, or will Naomi stay undefeated? We shall see when we return. And so we are back here with the live action. Just moments ago, before we cut to break, we saw Cesaro pin EC3, and just like that, Cesaro will go on to King of the Ring in the semifinals to face off against The Miz, at least for the Raw side of things. Next week we shall see Titus O'Neil taking on Bray Wyatt. That right there is definitely an interesting contest, to say the least. Unorthodox type of matchup. We wouldn't really expect to see a matchup between those two, but I'm all for it personally. Along with that, tomorrow on SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura, Mustafa Ali. On the SmackDown side of things, winner face off against Mr. Money in the Bank, Buddy Murphy. Last week on SmackDown, Murphy pinning Kane for a third time. Now Murphy officially 3-0 against Kane. It also led to Kane officially being suspended for the next 2 months after Kane attacked a fan that jumped the barricade. But that's a whole nother story in its entirety. If anything, it's time to now move on to the Raw Women's side of things here tonight on Raw Week 10.
And is for the Raw Women's Championship.
And so the first of 2 title matches here tonight. 2 straight title matches. As up next, we will see the Raw Tag Team titles. They will be on the line. First 2 title matches. First of 2 one-night stand Extreme Rules rematches. Last week we had one, as Ricochet came up short against AJ Styles for the United States Championship. Will follow suit at the end of the show, ultimately after AJ's victory. It was the Samoan Submission Machine and Samoa Joe choking out AJ Styles, Muscle Buster and everything, taunting on the ramp. You know, Samoa Joe was playing it a little bit cool. He was playing it a little bit low in the background. He even said a couple weeks ago on Raw how, like, doesn't matter whoever wins the title, whether it be Ricochet or AJ, he would come for them after they win it, whether it be AJ retains or Ricochet wins it. And so Joe, you know, he gave out a warning and finally decided to strike. We all, to be fair, really forgot about the AJ and Ricochet rivalry. Was, you know, really back and forth if anything. Multiple rematches, multiple non-title tag team affairs and stuff like that. Everything up the story. Ricochet has had AJ Styles' number multiple occasions, pinning him a good couple times in non-title singles matches and tag team matches. But ultimately, when it just came down to the wire, Ricochet just couldn't get, well, he could not get it done. There you go. But it came to title matches. So AJ Styles retains, but if anything, you know, Ricochet, he had a tough night. He had a tough night 8 nights ago at One Night Stand Extreme Rules. You know, one second he's winning the Raw Tag Titles with Braun Strowman against Anderson Gallows, and then the next second, literally the next second later, a couple seconds later, he has to go on into his United States Championship matchup against AJ Styles, and AJ ultimately ended up winning that contest on One Night Stand Extreme Rules, and would, well, he ultimately won the rematch last week as well. So Ricochet officially no longer in contention, at least for the time being, for the United States Championship. He is now in the back of the line. Seemed like, well, the woman that Naomi beat for his title in the first place back in Money in the Bank in Week 4, Becky Lynch, currently at the bottom of the power rankings after she failed to win in her rematch clause against Naomi. And well, Lacey Evans could join Becky Lynch here tonight if she has not win this rematch clause matchup against Naomi. Naomi currently undefeated last week, picking up victory over Nia Jax. Naomi's current record 6. Well, it sits at 6-0. There you go.
Introducing the challenger from Paris Island, South Carolina, Lacey Evans. And introducing the champion from Orlando, Florida, the Raw Women's Champion, Naomi.
And to think, really, there's already stemmed back Naomi's whole rise to the top, sudden rise to the top. Really, it really just stemmed off of a #1 contenders match victory over Natalya a couple weeks ago on Main Event, back when Main Event was still part of the weekly programming. Of course, that obviously got canned along with 205 Live. I'm still pissed off about that. But if anything, my Cruiserweight division now, of course, solely on SmackDown. I don't think JBL will appreciate that plug-in, but whatever. But if anything, Naomi victory over Natalya a couple weeks ago on Main Event to ultimately face off against Becky Lynch in the first place at Money in the Bank. And well, Naomi will go on a win match at the Money in the Bank kickoff show. And then ultimately win the rematch as well on Raw Week 5. And ever since then, Naomi's been still undefeated. Oh, double axe handle right there by Lacey Evans. That was a clubbing blow to the back of the head right there. Naomi falling down hard after that one. Sudden impact dropped the chest down the corner. Lacey Evans, of course, came up short 8 nights ago in the One Night Stand Extreme Rules kickoff show. The last match of the kickoff show. Big knee in the gut right there. And Evans now, here we go. And no, Bronco Buster. Type of variation. Well, that was impressive, to say the least, if anything. Definitely an interesting type of maneuver. But if anything, now, Naomi here. Now, looking too good. Gets launched from that snapmare. Both snapmare variations being showcased. We saw EC3 do that earlier as well. And just like that, Evans, she's taunted to the crowd. I'm not sure how smart that is. Evans knows how serious of a threat Naomi is. Of course, Naomi, the only undefeated woman on Raw currently. Rocking off also the champion. 6-0 is Naomi. She's been spectacular so far. Along with that WWE champion Kofi Kingston over on SmackDown also has been spectacular. They're both undefeated. Two great caliber athletes. And no, suplex right there by Evans. And now Naomi here slow, gets her feet. Obviously you don't want to waste too much of your energy. Take your sweet time here in the early stages of this contest. To still have energy later on in the later stages, obviously. And well, Evans here. That shot dazes Naomi for a couple seconds, and that's all she needs. No, never mind. Naomi sidesteps the drop kick right there. I thought Lacey could have actually connected a bit, and now here we go. Frankensteiner. And down goes Lacey Evans. And now Naomi here trying to feed off the crowd here. Charlotte, North Carolina, of course, the home of Nature Boy Ric Flair. Maybe he's watching on tonight for Raw Week 10. I have no clue. Of course, daughter of the Nature Boy, Charlotte Flair, SmackDown Women's Champion, currently over, well, you know, on Tuesday nights, aka the Blue Brand, aka SmackDown. And oh, here we go, returning the favor. Bronco Buster in the same corner as well. Of course, Charlotte Flair nights ago, defeating Carmella to win the title in a brutal steel steps matchup. Probably the most brutal matchup in Euros Mode history so far. It has been a short lineage in Euros Mode, but definitely the most brutal matchup, say the least, so far in Euros Mode history. And now wait a second here, we saw Evans do this 8 nights ago. Dude Buster down on the neck. And well, if anything, Evans, she lost control. Naomi didn't kick out. Now has to go to cover. No, it's only a 2 count. Well, Evans, she lost her grip, if anything. That probably could have been a 3 count if Lacey Evans never lost her grip. 1, 2, 3, I don't think it matters. The woman's right. Across the skull of Naomi, knocking her. I was gonna say unconscious. Never mind. I lied. Naomi now. After the kip up, multiple clotheslines. Taking her down as well with a calf kick. Naomi, I thought she was done for after the dude buster. Lacey Evans losing her grip. That's a little bit, not a little bit of anything, a big costly mistake. Major mistake here. Big accident on the part of number one contender. How long can she even stay number one contender here? Can she become the champion? Or will Lacey Evans go down to the bottom of the rankings here? Multiple kicks here by the Raw Women's Champion. And oh, Dragon Sleeper Suplex. What impact. And now Lacey Evans, now that's smart. Rolling to the outside ring. Automatic thinking. Don't think it matters. Lacey Evans gets taken down. Naomi just launched herself. She was going for a front missile drop kick. Didn't get all of it. Got enough to where she could take down Lacey Evans. But that right there was a nasty collision, to say the very least. Both women back inside the ring here already. And now Naomi sizing up her opposition. Lacey Evans here. Of how the mighty have followed Evans. She had it for a couple of seconds. And just like that, it's slipping through her fingers here tonight. The Feel the Glow submission maneuver that rings a Saturn type of variation submission hold. And Lacey Evans will make Lacey Evans. That makes no sense. Naomi will make Lacey Evans tap out. There you go. And just like that, Evans will lose in her rematch clause matchup here tonight. To the back of the line she goes. Naomi, 7-0 here in Universe mode. Last week it was a non-title victory over Nia Jax to help keep Naomi fresh in preparation for this rematch here tonight. And now look at this here. Right on Naomi's neck. Dude buster right there. And ultimately look at that. Lacey Evans losing her grip. Had to try and rearrange. Or not rearrange. Reposition herself for another pinfall attempt. And it only led to a 2 count. You know, maybe, just maybe, if Evans didn't lose her grip, that probably could have led to a 3. Lacey Evans probably could have been your new Raw Women's Champion here tonight if she never lost her grip. A very costly mistake on the part of the number one contender. But ultimately, it pays well for Naomi. The woman right there, the best woman on Raw Women's Champion Naomi, still undefeated here in Universe mode. That right there is truly spectacular. And if anything matter moments up next, we now switch from the Raw Women's title to the Raw Tag Team titles. Up next, Ricochet, Braun Strowman, and Seth Gallows for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Don't go anywhere, the action continues.
This situation here is not looking too good for Gallows. And now, oh man, Braun sets him up. And Ricochet, here we go, the set starting! Through the table goes the big OG, that is Luke Gallows. Ricochet to 630, follows suit of course, Braun Strowman the run-in power slam. Just a perfect string of maneuvers and we have new Raw Tag Team Champions. You know, that right there.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 505 pounds, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
On behalf of the monkeys in the back, if anything, I'd like to apologize if anything, because that right there was not 11 nights ago. One Night Stand Extreme Rules was 8 nights ago, 8 days ago, where you want to put it at. Apparently, the producers in the back did not know how to count days, but that right there is 9/11. One Night Stand Extreme Rules was 8 nights ago. But regardless of anything, Anderson and Gallows already in the ring, former tag team champions. Potential two-time Raw Tag Team Champions by the end of tonight, we shall see, as they await one half of those tag team champions in the monster among men. It's Braun Strowman.
385 pounds. He is one half of the Raw Tag
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman, you know, this whole duo of Strowman and Ricochet, it has a pretty damn cool history. Strowman and Ricochet, well, teamed up originally back in Raw Week 4. It was a one-time only thing against Cesaro and The Miz in the go-home show of Money in the Bank, aka Raw Week 4. And you know, those 4 men were both the only 4 men on the Raw side of things. Of course, the SmackDown side was Buddy Murphy, Andrade, and Aleister Black and Finn Balor. But there's the Raw side. They had a little bit of a preview of sorts, and Strowman and Ricochet originally got the victory there. And it led to Strowman helping Ricochet down the line against the club in the near future. Definitely a one-off appearance that led to, well, a full-time partnership.
And his partner, from Paducah, Kentucky, weighing in at 190 pounds, he is one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Ricochet!
And well, ladies and gentlemen, this man Ricochet, he's had, well, a very up and down career here in Yours Mode. Ricochet has been showcased very heavily here in Yours Mode since the very beginning, back in Raw Week 1, given the opportunity, a big time opportunity, by Universal Champion at the time, and the Architect Seth Rollins. Rollins wanted a main event matchup, a non-title main event matchup against Ricochet. The stipulation that Rollins made, if anything, was that if Ricochet beat him, then Ricochet could get the shot against Rollins for a title at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That didn't happen. Rollins ultimately won the non-title contest, was later attacked by Drew McIntyre. Of course, a couple weeks ago, McIntyre was injured by the World's Strongest Man and current Universal Champion in Mark Henry. McIntyre's shattered ankle, still no clue, no indication on when McIntyre will return, but best believe when he does return, he does want to cash in that rematch clause. He still has the rematch clause for the Universal Championship. When McIntyre returns, JBL could still grant him his rematch for the Universal title, no matter who's the champion, whether Rollins has it again, whether Mark Henry still has it by that point, whether anyone else has the title. When Drew McIntyre returns, he still has that rematch clause, that one rematch clause matchup. Exactly like Gallows and Anderson do here tonight. Difference is Gallows and Anderson, well, it's time to push up. They have no time for any more preparation, unlike Drew McIntyre, to rehab from injury. It's all up to Gallows and Anderson here tonight. As we kick things off here, look at the size advantage between these two. Ricochet and Luke Gallows, obviously 8 nights ago, once the Extreme Rules. There was a Tornado Tag Team Extreme Rules elimination match. It led to a 2-on-1 situation with Braun Strowman and Ricochet against Luke Gallows. And well, you saw the recap. 630 through the table by Ricochet and Luke Gallows, followed by a running power slam by Braun Strowman, led to the victory. You know, that's been a combination of success, really, for Braun and Ricochet. A very unlikely duo at first, beating Miz and Cesaro back in Raw Week 4. Both men obviously come up short in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in the ladder match. And ultimately as well, you know, Ricochet had his hands full really with Anderson and Gallows, and of course the United States Champion AJ Styles. And so the stipulation was if Ricochet could find a tag team partner, and if him and that tag team partner could beat Gallows and Anderson, then they could get Raw tag team title opportunities. And well, that was the case. Ultimately, Braun Strowman ended up being Ricochet's mystery tag team partner, helped Ricochet winning that tag match against Anderson and Gallows. And by that point, Ricochet also naturally already had his title match against AJ after beating him previously in a non-title contest. And so Ricochet, you know, he's been all over the place really. He's been on lower different title scenes, all the title scenes he could be here on Raw. He's been in it. It was in the Universal title scene. Granted, it was only for 1 week, courtesy of Seth Rollins. He came up short. It was a great back and forth contest between the two. However, no! He's getting launched right there by the big LG that is Luke Gallows. Gallows just towers over Ricochet. Truly spectacular of a sight. But if anything, Ricochet's been in the Universal title scene. Like I said very briefly in the beginning of the Universal mode. And then the US title scene, it only ended last week after it failed to beat AJ Styles and Ricochet's rematch clause matchup, and splash in the corner, big time splash in the corner. by Gallows. And now Carlson here looking to pick up the scraps. And now this is a little bit more of a fair matchup for Ricochet. But he's still worn out after the offense by Little Gallows. Maybe not of anything. A fireman's carry, main fireman's carry. And now here we go. Ricochet here. Oh God! Suplex into a powerbomb. I was getting ready to say an X-plex. But hey, it's similar at the very least. And now Ricochet here. Trying to gain some momentum by taunting. Trying to feed off the energy of this crowd here in North Carolina. And now, well, if anything, Carlson being repositioned here. And now Ricochet tries to set up something here. Take his sweet time with it. And no. Hard fall to the outside. And here we go. One half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. It's gonna fly. Don't big Gunny low. Lands on his feet as well. Down goes Carlson. Just like that, Ricochet is in control as the action continues here on Raw Week 10. We're back here live with the action here on Raw Week 10. During the commercial break, Carlson hanging out Ricochet dry right there. That slingshot right into the bottom rope. And to be fair, during the commercial break, it's been all Carlson. Before the break, we saw Ricochet dive to Tope Conilo, land on his feet, take out Carlson, all that good stuff. But ultimately, it didn't matter. Anderson having Ricochet grounded since the break, and oh, maybe that can now change. Ricochet getting out of the headlock predicament, misses the forearm, however. That's blocked. Super kick to the gut, and a super kick yet again. The machine gun. And you know, I've been wanting to briefly say this, if anything, for the past couple minutes now, if anything. Plays first to the second turnbuckle pad goes Ricochet here. And now Ricochet, is this all she wrote? No. Carlson just 1 second away from winning back those Raw Tag Team titles with Luke Gallows. But if anything, Edge Styles, he's not here tonight. He's still trying to recover from his wounds of battle against Ricochet last week. And oh, Braun just clocking Anderson right between the eyes. That wasn't too smart. And now Carl here, he's not going to pay no attention to Braun Strowman yet again. He was taunting him. That wasn't really all that smart. And oh, whatever that was, it was effective. And oh no. Carlson, this is not looking too good. Frankensteiner to a powerbomb. What a combination. Braun Strowman here for the victory. No, I know. Gallows almost breaking it up. I think Gallows just clipped a little bit of Carlson. Anderson kicked out before Gallows could break it up. And in turn, I think it was an accidental double axe handle by Gallows to Anderson. And now Braun Strowman just gonna launch Carlson. You know, Anderson, he's been having a rough couple of weeks. The go-home show 2 weeks ago, before one at Extreme Rules, it was a big-time tag team match with Ricochet and Seth Rollins teaming up against, well, Mark Henry and AJ Styles. Look at this again, that powerbomb right there. Amazing coordination between the tag team champions. But 2 weeks ago, for that big-time main event tag team matchup, Luke Gallows was in the corner of AJ and Henry. However, Carlson was not there because previously, earlier on Heat, Braun Strowman, well, let's say, there's no better way to put it, he destroyed him, he demolished him so badly that Anderson could not appear even at ringside to accompany Gallows, AJ, and Mark Henry. However, Anderson was able to recover just in time for the tag team matchup 8 nights ago, Wednesday Extreme Rules, in which he was the first one eliminated in there. Anyway, off the ropes, and that was definitely all Braun Strowman, but hey, Ricochet gets a little bit of a participation trophy for his efforts in lifting up Carlson, and Gallows able to break it up right there. But AJ Styles still nursing his wounds. He got choked out by Samoa Joe, for God's sakes, last week. So Joe, I mean not Joe if anything, well yes, if anything, we saw Samoa Joe earlier on Heat. The match against No Way Jose. And no, big time uppercut, back elbow. And now into the second turn, buckle and oh, 619 right there. Corner 619, springboard uppercut. Ricochet like a house of fire. Unloaded on Carlson for the victory now. Gallows breaking that one up in time. At the same time, Carl Anderson kicked out. But what a combination right there by Ricochet. And oh, Luthez press right there. Carl Anderson here. Mounted punches that ground and pound. Those closed fists across the skull of Ricochet. But AJ Styles, currently no word on when we'll see him yet again. I assume, to be fair, next week. But JBL, he wants to protect his assets. And, AJ Styles is a very important one. The United States champion, been holding that title ever since week 1. And well, Seth Rollins, man, I think Seth Rollins is also a viable asset. It just turns out in the eyes of JBL at the very least, he crossed the line. That's not supposed to be a TNA reference. We already make enough of those here in Universe Mode. And now Tope Conilo! Yet again, Ricochet taking out everybody. Took out Carl Anderson a couple minutes ago, taking down the big LG, that is Luke Gallows. Look at this again. Aerodynamic as ever is Ricochet. One half of the Raw Tag Team Champion. Surely he is the highlight reel of the team, while Braun is clearly the powerhouse. This is a great duo. It's an unorthodox tag team, but it's a great one at that. Flatliner right there by Ricochet, taking down the big LG. And now Gallows here in trouble. Referee, well, he took a while to get into position, and that right there, maybe, just maybe, cost Ricochet. Referee wasn't in position originally. You see the shoulders down the mat. It took him a good 2-3 seconds to get into position. Maybe that just cost Ricochet and Braun. Them retain the tag titles here tonight. And now wait a second here. Are we going to see this yet again? We saw Carl Anderson moments ago. And now we're seeing it yet again. Frankensteiner into that powerbomb combination. This time it's to Luke Gallows. Braun Strowman gonna let go. That's why he sends Carl Anderson, and Anderson immediately getting into his corner. He wants nothing to do with Braun Strowman. Oh, Strowman. He wants everything to do with Carl Anderson. Sets him down. And now look at this here. Reverse choke slam. Down goes Gallows. Face plants into the mat. We've seen this combination. Big time moves like the running power slam that leads into a 630 or vice versa. Now we're seeing it yet again. 630. Ricochet. Center of the ring. Down is Gallows, and out he is as well. Down and out. There you go. And just like that, the Raw Tag Team Champions retain here tonight. Well, a contest between these two. Obviously, not the same type of Extreme Rules type of contest we saw 8 nights ago at One Night Stand Extreme Rules. But Ricochet, he's been a workhorse. He's been a complete workhorse here in Universe Mode. He's just had multiple great matches, back and forth matches, exhausting matches if anything. Of course, AJ Styles last week, 2 matches as well 8 nights ago. Ricochet, he's just been doing great, and Braun Strowman as well. Ricochet and Braun Strowman still the Raw Tag Team Champions. One hell of an effort from those 2 men. And well, if anything, I don't think Edge Styles will like the news of this. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson to the back of the line. They go. They lost their rematch clause matchup here tonight. Officially now at the bottom of the power rankings. Well, moving gears now from the Raw title scene to the main event scene. Next week, JBL will announce the stipulation for Seth Rollins' rematch against Universe J. Mark Henry, the King of the Ring stipulation for the Universe title. It will be revealed next week on Raw. And well, along with that, if anything, this Wednesday on NXT, ladies and gentlemen, champions versus, well, challengers of sorts, I guess. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, they still have the rematch clause for the NXT Tag titles against Mustache Mountain, and Adam Cole still has the rematch clause for the NXT Championship that he lost to Keith Lee a couple weeks ago back at TakeOver Blackpool. Big time main event tag team matchup as well. And well, along with that, Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, they all get their respective rematch clauses in a big time fail for a Toni Storm against All Odds. That right there is in 2 weeks' time at NXT. Storm and Shirai had a couple of good classics. Well, invented a good classic after Io Shirai had a good 3 classics against Candice LeRae originally against this opportunity. So there you go. But along with that as well, in 2 weeks' time, Adam Cole, he gets the rematch. Keith Lee, the Limitless One, has to do battle against Adam Cole in Cole's rematch but the rest of the Undisputed Era will be at ringside. You gotta wonder how much that will affect the matchup. Definitely it will be in Amco's favor. And in a matter of moments, the Judgment Day of Seth Rollins is most likely upon us. Up next, when we return for break, the Hours of Pain, akam, and rezar, they took battle in a handicap matchup against Seth Rollins. That right there is when we return here in Raw Week 10. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back in, well, if anything, before Raw Week 10, we had the pre-show, we had, obviously, Heat, the Samoan submission machine. Samoa Joe faced off against No Way Jose in a winning effort, and, well, a kind of rematch of sorts from last week. Last week it was Scott Dawson losing to Rey Mysterio. This week it was Dash Wilder in a losing effort to Rey Mysterio. Mysterio now 2 victories in a row here in your Small Along. That next week, your main event of Heat, it's a #1 contenders tag team matchup. The Viking Raiders, they take on a newly formed team of Bobby Lashley and Cedric Alexander. The winners will become #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. That's definitely interesting to say the least, but look at this colossal showdown. Champion versus champion. Mark Henry, Universe Champion, versus Braun Strowman. That right there, one hell of a Titan versus Titan matchup. That right there is next week on Raw. Along with that, many more action to come. But next week, that right there is your first announced matchup. Of course, don't forget the announcement JBL needs to make regarding Rollins and Henry at King of the Ring.
The following contest is a handicap match. Introducing first, from Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 217 pounds, Seth Rollins.
The former Universe Champion, the Architect, he was on top of the world here in Universe mode until it all came crashing down upon him 8 nights ago. The tables matchup, Mark Henry victorious, putting Rollins through that table to win the title. Henry not here tonight, similar to last week. Well, at least not scheduled to be here tonight. And if he's not scheduled, then quite frankly, he doesn't really need to show up. It's as simple as that. Best believe Mark Henry has to be watching this matchup back at home to try and scout his competition. Granted, he beat Rollins. He knows what Rollins is all about. But you gotta think, how will Rollins fare in this situation? We have not seen Seth Rollins in a situation like this in Universe mode until now. He faces off in a colossal challenge against these two men in akam and rezar, the authors of pain.
And his opponents, at a combined weight of 620 pounds, Akam and Rezar, AOP!
You know, the authors of pain here, it's a very weird situation, I guess, to put it in more simpler terms. This is really the only term I can put. It's a very weird situation when it comes to this. They are not, in no way, shape, or form, are they aligned with Mark Henry. They were really just sent out by JBL. You know, JBL, he was backstage, he was listening to what the promo Rollins cut last week. Rollins, you know, if anything, after Cesaro's victory over Kurt Hawkins, we had a little bit of a stare down between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. That right there, potentially, could be your SummerSlam main event. Cesaro goes on to win King of the Ring, maybe. Seth Rollins goes on to win the Universal title back from Mark Henry at King of the Ring, maybe. And that right there could be your main event of SummerSlam. If all the chips align, Cesaro, he wished Rollins good luck when Rollins came into the ring after Cesaro's victory over Kurt Hawkins last week. Cesaro, he wished Rollins luck. And well, you know, maybe, just maybe, we can see those two just face off against Jeff for Universe title in the near future. Rollins, he's telling Akam to bring it. The matchup now begins. And oh, lariat right there. Short arm lariat. But if anything, JBL, he didn't like Rollins trying to book his own show. And Rollins, he's done it before. Some of you may say, well, it's rather abrupt. It's rather perhaps out of line for JBL to do that. Granted, it is. But notice, back in Raw Week 1, it was Seth Rollins' decision to give Ricochet the opportunity against himself in a non-title contest. Rollins also made a stipulation saying, hey Ricochet, if you beat me here tonight, I'll give you a shot against me at Money in the Bank. JBL, he greenlit the decision, but he wasn't told until Rollins cut the promo beforehand. Rollins did not tell JBL beforehand. If anything, JBL learned along with us at the same time when Rollins Rich cut the promo. That was obviously back when we still had the anonymous GMs. We didn't know who was the SmackDown GM. That ultimately ended up being revealed to be Edge. The NXT GM manager was ultimately revealed to be, well, Triple H. And then of course Raw GM was revealed to be JBL. And that was going to be revealed to be the 205 Live GM until Vince canceled my show and then merged it with SmackDown. I'm still kind of pissed about that, but whatever. So that guy's in the corner. Down goes Rollins. But second time, Rollins tried to really book his own show in a way under JBL's management. And JBL, he did not like it. He let it slide originally back in Raw Week 1. He was still anonymous at that time as well. But last week, I guess, was JBL's final straw. And he decided to punch Ron Swartz. And that right there is how we've gone to this handicap situation. Akam and rezar, to be fair, the hired guns, the hired thugs, the hitmen that would take down Seth Rollins. At least I think that's what JBL's goal here is in mind. And now, if anything, rezar, we saw Akam and rezar laid Rollins down a waste last week. And now to the outside we go. Granted, however, JBL, I guess he's a little fair. Even I'm hesitant in saying that. But, you know, he could have made it a 2-on-1 tornado tag matchup here, right? He just made a regular 2-on-1 regular tag matchup. Rollins just got launched into that steel ring post. rezar manhandling Seth Rollins here, so did Akam earlier. And now Rollins here, he's lifeless. How the hell is Seth Rollins gonna get out of the situation? God! Punches to the skull right there by rezar. On an already just down Seth Rollins, and now Rollins here being manhandled yet again. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a running power slam. No, turned into a gut buster. Rough form across from his referee took well, going to position here. Rollins, no, barely saw that right there. We all saw it. Rollins barely getting that shoulder up, just nudges it a little bit. And oh, well, a punch to the gut. Mongolian chops are missed. Luckily enough for Rollins, never mind, not luckily enough because that second one connected. And now rezar just swinging at anything that moves here, and that anything is Seth Rollins. No, shoulder barrage in the corner. Nope, I was about to say another one, but it's reversed here. Former Universal Champion, the Architect here. A new breath of life, perhaps, some way, somehow. Here's left, no rezar takes him down, the buckle bomb. Of course, the buckle bomb, notorious for being very unsafe. I don't think Rollins cares about being unsafe anymore. I think all he cares about is just making this matchup end and taking out the Office of Pain, the hired guns, JBL. No. You know, he was going for Akam. It didn't work out too well. rezar now trying to take control. Not the case, at least at the moment. Rollins now. rezar in the ring effort to the outside he goes. And now Akam to the outside he goes as well. Seth Rollins with the high ground. Both of the Office of Pain are laid out. rezar, he's dead. Rollins! The tope suicide, the suicide dive. Rollins, all of his head, really. That was all of the skull Seth Rollins taking down the kneecap of rezar. We saw that with Mark Henry. Let's go one stand extreme rules. And yet again, this time a better connection. Rollins, he's taking down both members of the Office of Pain and the mosh pit on Seth Rollins. He's in control. The action continues. And so we're back during commercial break. Seth Rollins, he was going for a springboard tornado DDT that he usually goes for. And Wwe ended up turning to a springboard into Guri frog splash. And no, the knees are up, but it ended up turning to a springboard into Guri. And Rollins, he landed right on his head. But some way, somehow, Rollins was able to still maintain control over rezar until that very moment right there. The momentum has now shifted back to the favor of the Australian Pain. I definitely didn't stutter just there. But, you know, before we come to break, the Australian Pain, they were both laid out by Rollins. Seth Rollins, you know, he was a man on fire right there. He was doing spectacular until the frog splash was blocked right there moments ago by rezar. Some way, somehow, Seth Rollins, you know, it's been a mixture of Rollins with the fighting spirit and with the Australian Pain just showing no remorse. Toying with their full, oh my god. That was disgusting. Akam stomping down Rollins with rezar with the assist as well. And now wait a second, Seth here reversing the power bomb. Couple well placed punches to his side. The head spinning heel kick right there. Perfectly placed. rezar, he's watching on. Akam now. Wait a second here. Rollins. Oh, wait a minute. God's last gift. I love that move. And now, oh. I think Akam just kicked out before one. I was gonna say Rollins let go. No, he did. Akam kicked out at one. And Rollins answers back immediately with a drop kick. No time to be stunned. No time to be amazed. Rollins knows he has to stay on. Both Akam and rezar respectively. And the curb stomp. Taking down Akam. rezar's immediately in the ring. And just like that, he breaks up. Just like that, he breaks up. And oh, come on, ref. Referee needs to gain control of the situation here. Obviously, rezar has to count of 5. But the damage perhaps has been done. Not only to Rollins, but also to Akam. Rollins, as a matter of fact, he's the only one getting back up. Never mind, it's supposed to zone. Akam's back up to his feet before Rollins. Skull kicked into a mat courtesy of the curb stomp. But rezar breaking up the pinfall, keeping the punishment going for Rollins. Shoulder barrages in the corner by Akam, and now stomping on Rollins. This situation for Seth Rollins just continues to worsen. And now wait a second here. Wait a second, schoolboy. Super kick right in the button. Akam now being tampered with by Rollins, at least for the time being. Akam big strike where they almost hit the referee, and yet again, ref got out the way. Don't want a casualty here in this contest. And now side Russian leg sweep, down goes Rollins. Akam and rezar are just so methodical. So really slow paced, but it works out extremely well in their favor. Yeah, power bomb right there. Nothing fancy about that one. Of course, Akam and rezar both do different types of power bombs. We saw it last week on Raw when they ambushed Rollins. You know, into a corner goes the Architect, the former Universal Champion. Best believe current champion Mark Henry is watching on with pleasure back at home. You gotta think he's enjoying this one. They weaken down his opposition. Oh my god. Rollins folds upon the impact. Like I was trying to say until Rollins just almost died. You know, gotta think Mark Henry's enjoying the Australian Pain weakening down his opposition 3 weeks before Rollins gets his rematch at King of the Ring. Of course, King of the Ring mostly going to be focused on the Raw and SmackDown side of things for the tournament. Now hold that thought, Van Akam on rezar watching on a weakened Seth Rollins here. The Australian Pain, they're just watching. They're not helping Rollins up to try and do a maneuver. They're just watching, letting him recover on his own. And now wait a minute here. After the shoulder block, oh my god, what a clothesline. Rollins' head just went flying into the 4th row. You gotta think. That right there just made General Manager John Bradshaw Layfield extremely proud. That was definitely a clothesline from hell. And rezar, there you go, that powerbomb variation right there. We saw it last week on Rollins. Both Akam and rezar did it respectively. And now rezar, yeah, second one. Lifeless. rezar enjoying his handiwork. He's just staring down at Rollins. Just pinned the man. He's done for. He's done for. It's no use. Good night. The Authors of Pain have decimated Seth Rollins here tonight in your main event of Monday Night Raw. Most likely not actually uploaded on a Monday, but that's beside the point. The Authors of Pain were two men on a mission assigned by Gen Manager John Bradshaw Layfield, and a mission accomplished. Well, I think Seth Rollins will learn to not book his own matches, at least that's what JBL hopes. Definitely petty. And Rollins now starts the pain, going backstage. Now wait a minute. I thought he wasn't here. The world's strongest man, the Universal Champion. I thought Mark Henry was home. I didn't see him backstage. When did he get here? And now Rollins here. Henry now. Henry, he's charging the ring. Rollins has come to the senses. Rollins ducks underneath it. Referee, good luck trying to separate these two. These two men can just not stop fighting. They fought all around the arena. A go-home show of Raw. Just before One Night Stand Extreme Rules. And oh! Henry to the lower back. Mark Henry, Universal Champion, the world's strongest man. Like a vulture, picking apart a weakened Rollins. Henry, the world's strongest slam. Mark Henry. Mark, come on, this is unnecessary. Rollins, how the hell is Rollins getting back up? This man just can't stay down. Seth, it's over. For your health. For the matchup to even happen. In 3 weeks, I can't ring. Stay down, man. Rollins, some way, somehow, this man is getting back to his feet. The heart of Seth Rollins is immense. But he just won't back down, and that's really the problem. The Authors of Pain walking away, leaving it to the vulture that is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. I would say this is enough, Mark, but I know for a fact here. First off, Mark can't even hear me. I'm in the skybox, so that's beside the point. But also, this is the man that shattered the ankle of Drew McIntyre. And now just gonna launch Seth Rollins. Originally, after Mark Henry put Rollins through a table at Money in the Bank after Rollins' victory and successful title defense against Drew McIntyre. Oh God! To the outside. The hard thud. The thin layer of padding barely separating Rollins' flesh and back from the concrete floor. But Mark Henry shattered the ankle of Drew McIntyre after McIntyre didn't agree with Mark getting in his business at Money in the Bank choke slam through the table. But Mark Henry, Drew McIntyre took a stand against Mark Henry. The Raw after Money in the Bank, Rollins didn't appear in that show. He was still recovering after being put through an original table, as we just saw right there as well. Being put through another table courtesy of Mark Henry. But Henry shattering the ankle of Drew McIntyre back in Raw Week 5. We haven't seen McIntyre since. Mark Henry has gone on record to say the Hall of Pain has been brung back. And it's time for more inductees. McIntyre's the first one. And here tonight, Rollins. Rollins is definitely the second. Come on, Mark. This is over. It's over. It's over! Headbutt. Across the ribcage. This man, Seth Rollins, has gone through too many brawls here, whether it be against Drew McIntyre, the build up the Money in the Bank, or Mark Henry a couple weeks ago, and now here tonight as well. Mark Henry. He's basically fighting a lifeless corpse. The world's strongest slam. Seth Rollins has been laid to waste. And the splash as well, just for extra measure. The world's strongest man is on a rampage. Well, I said at the top of the show, this could very well be the judgment day of the Architect. This could be the judgment day of Seth Rollins. It ended up being completely worse. And wait a second here. JBL. Bradshaw, what? JBL just told me from my earpiece. Of course, next week, the stipulation will still be announced. But I saw from the graphic right there, next week, Rollins has now been booked to face off against AJ Styles. Official breaking news to end off the night. Next week, Rollins and AJ. Rollins still has to do battle even after being laid to waste by Mark Henry and the AOP. Bradshaw still has it out for Seth Rollins, and Mark Henry, the Universal Champion, has laid the Architect to rest here tonight to end off Raw Week 10.